Hey everybody, it's Doug Schauf with the Make Maine Your Home team over at RE/MAX Oceanside. If you're new to the channel, I'm a real estate broker here in the state of Maine. On this channel, we cover really everything cool about Maine, but today in particular, we're gonna dive into the housing market, kind of talk about what's going on. And I know a lot of you people are asking, like, will housing get cheaper maybe this year here in the state of Maine, or anywhere really? But mostly we're talking about the state of Maine, because it's probably a lot different in other areas of the country. So we're gonna break down a lot of stats, we're gonna talk about a lot of cool things. I'll give you maybe a little bit of my opinion on what's going to happen. So stick around to the end because we got a lot of great information to talk about today. All right, so we thought we'd start off this video and talk about maybe a little bit of a current housing market update, so I'm going to have to read a lot of stats here because I didn't memorize it. As of March 2025, the median home price in Maine is $400,642. Wow, that's weird that I couldn't say that. It's 400,000. Whenever we look at stats for the whole state of Maine, it's always a little skewed because, for example, I'm going to give you numbers on like southern Maine or the greater Portland area, it's actually 560,000. So you can see how, like, when you get into rural Maine, it's like it brings those numbers down, all that kind of stuff. So that is, though, up 2.8% year over year, according to Zillow, getting some data from them. Home sales are down 6.5% statewide compared to last year. But inventory is rising. So when sales are down, that just basically means like not as many transactions happening, of course. Inventory is starting to rise. In fact, according to the Maine Association of Realtor, new listings in February rose 23.4% year over year. Southern Maine counties like Cumberland and York County remain the most competitive, with homes still receiving multiple offers in popular towns like Portland, South Portland, Cape Elizabeth, Scarborough, the Portland area, also Saco Biddeford area. Very popular. In Knox and Androscoggin counties, they're showing softer demand with longer days on market. So it's taking a little while longer to sell. Still selling, just taking a little longer. Bottom line, prices aren't falling broadly, but the pace of appreciation is slowing. So you got to be mindful of that. Buyers may have more negotiating power here in 2025, but we don't think prices are going to fall. See, there's a big difference between prices falling and just the appreciation slowing. Very, very important to remember that. A lot of people just got to like, oh my God, the sky's falling, prices are falling. They're not. They're just slowing. I mean, the last few years, we've had huge appreciation. Now we have normal appreciation. Unicorn years. Unicorn years, 2020 to like 2023, that time where the real estate just went bang. We call that the unicorn years because that may or may not happen ever again. Extremely low interest rates, multiple offers, prices going crazy. Unicorn years. Hey guys, it's call to action time. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, the little notify button, and any other buttons you see on your screen, just click them all, especially the little like and the heart button. Maybe not the dislike, because I mean, come on, you got it. Why wouldn't you like this channel? So anyway, it really helps us if you hit a lot of those buttons. YouTube likes it, the algorithm, helps us out, all that stuff that is probably above my pay grade. But we really appreciate you watching, and if you are watching, please hit that subscribe button. You can always unsubscribe if I annoy you too much. I'll try not to. Thanks a lot. Key market influencers here in 2025. Not influencers like the people that you see on Instagram, market influencers. Let's see what we're going to be talking about. Hey, mortgage rates. Here we go. We knew that was coming. So 30-year fixed rates are hovering around like that 6.5. It kind of depends on the day. 6.5, maybe 7, but right around there. 6.5 isn't too bad though. And this is based on Freddie Mac, April 2025. Higher rates continue to dampen the affordability for sure. I think the time of those extremely low interest rates in the unicorn years are gone. We might never see that again. But geez, rates in the 6s is not all that bad. However, some experts at Keeping Current Matters is a company that kind of looks at all data. They believe we could see minor rate drops in Q3, which may encourage more buyer activity. Again, be aware that I'm saying minor rate drops, okay? So if you're sitting there like, I'm going to wait until the rate gets to 3%, don't hold your breath. Minor rate drops means maybe we get to the low 6s, maybe around 6. That to me is probably minor. So don't think like, oh, I'm going to wait and get that super low interest rate. Probably not going to come. There's our talk about interest rates. What do you guys think about interest rates? Is it hurting you? Comment below. Key influencer number 2. All right, we're going to talk about inventory here, and it is rising, but still very tight. I mean, it really is. MaineHousing reports a 61.5% increase in single-family home listings in February and March. That's great, but they're still being gobbled up. Despite that, month supply is still well below 4 months of inventory. Again, in some cases, I mean, it's still in the weeks range. Houses still sell fast. So if you're looking at specific areas, you're going to want to reach out to us so we can give you data on those specific areas. 6 months is a balanced market. I've been saying this ever since I've been in the business. We've talked a lot about months worth of inventory. 6-7 months is normal. We haven't seen that in a very, very long time, even well before the unicorn years. To say that, inventory is coming up to make it a buyer's market probably isn't true. We're still well in a seller's market, but it's getting a little bit better. More inventory equals less pressure on pricing. The cool thing about inventory, some good stories though, even this year, we've had a few clients that have a house to sell, and we've been able to secure a house, making it contingent on them selling this house. So that's where when more inventory comes and maybe a house sits on the market for a little while, I'd say a few weeks, we can do those types of contingencies, and it makes your life easier to make a move. So that's where inventory rising can help out. Don't think hey, we're all of a sudden in a buyer's market, because we're not, all right? But it might help. So whatever options that you're looking at, we should sit down and talk about them. All right, number 3 influencer. New construction still faces challenges. Definitely does, especially here in Maine. Labor shortages and high costs are keeping construction slow. I would also say some towns make it easy to build, some towns don't, depending on what their priorities are in those specific towns. Projects aimed at affordable housing are underway, but they won't flood the market in 2025. It can be a very long time. And also affordable is kind of an interesting conversation, who can afford it and all that kind of stuff, because cost of things are high. So even builders that are building affordable housing doesn't necessarily mean it's affordable to everyone. So you do want to be mindful of that if you're seeing those terms, that you want to really look into it. Even projects that are starting now, they could be a year or 2 or 3 out before they're finished and actually able to house people. So be mindful of that. Great ideas. I love it. I love, construction. If we can do those types of projects, awesome, but it does take time. So you want to be, keep an eye on those things. So to answer the question of the title of this video, will houses get cheaper in 2025? The answer is probably not. Most experts, including Realtor.com, CoreLogic, Keeping Currents Matter, predict that home prices will not fall significantly in 2025. Instead, home appreciation will continue. It's expected to stay around 2 to 4%, which honestly is fairly normal. That's what should happen. And that's nationally, that's what it should stay around there. And Maine will probably mirror that trend and stay in that 2 to 4% appreciation. So the exception to the rule might be overpriced homes or homes in rural areas with longer commutes, things like that. They're already seeing price adjustments, but when you see price adjustments happening in the market, it doesn't mean prices are falling. It just means that maybe somebody thought it was worth more and it's not. You know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily mean that prices have fallen. It's just they listed it too high and they need to come down in price. Pretty common. So anyway, hopefully this video was helpful for you. Let me know. Comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. We'd love that. And remember, if you make Maine your home, you don't have to do it alone. Hey, come here. Hey, YouTube thinks you're going to like one of these videos. So click on it and let me know what you think. And remember, come back again soon, because we do a video every Friday.